Let's identify 10 characteristics of this little horn, and then we're going to unpack who this little horn is. It's very important. I want to give you 10 characteristics of this little horn. It's a little horn. We got that in verse 8. It comes up from among the 10 horns. Okay? 3 horns are pulled up by the roots. Okay? That means 3 kings are pulled up by the roots. It has an eyes and mouth speaking great boasts. Verse 5, or number 5, characteristic number 5, it speaks out against the Most High. Okay, that's clear. Number 6, it arises after the 4th kingdom and after the 10 horns. Now that's very important to understand. And I'm underscoring this and highlighting this one. I really want to drive home this point. It arises after the 4th kingdom and after the 10 horns. Now I am not trying to insult your intelligence. I want you to look on the screen and I want to ask this one simple question. I'm going to ask you this. Did the horn arise? Did the lion have a horn? No, the lion did not have a horn. Okay? The horn, that little horn didn't come up during the Babylonian period. No, of course it didn't. Did the bear have a horn? No, of course. The bear had 3 ribs in its mouth. It has no horns. What about the leopard? Did the leopard have a horn? No, the leopard, that Greek empire did not have a horn that is speaking great boasts and a mouth with eyes and everything like that. No, it doesn't. Now let me ask you this. The next kingdom after that, this great ferocious beast, did this beast have that little horn? Okay, pause. Yes, but only after the 10 horns come up. Okay, so that beast, ferocious, exceedingly strong, has 10 horns, and then a little horn comes up from among them. Okay? And then it removes 3. So it arises after the 4th kingdom and after the 10 horns. That means that that little horn in the history of time has to be after 476 AD. Because it would be 476 AD that the political entity of the Roman Empire would end, and it transitions into the successor states, the German barbaric tribes. So it has to come up after 476 AD. That's a very important point to understand. That's number 6. Number 7, it's different from the horns. It persecutes the saints. It intends to make alterations in times and laws. That's number 9. And number 10, the saints are given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time. Now, there's more that we can discuss about this, but those are 10 characteristics of this little horn, which we spent basically half the chapter talking about. Half the chapter of Daniel 7 is basically talking about the 10 characteristics of this little horn. All right? Now, I want to point this out to you. This is a prophetic time period. Number 10, saints are given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time, meaning that would be a time prophecy period of a time, times, and half a time. How do we translate that? How does that translate into literal days and years that we can understand? Well, let's take a look at it on the screen. Time, times, and half a time. That would be a prophetic year. Of a time would be 1 prophetic year. Times, plural, with an S, would be 2 prophetic years. And a half a time would be just that, a half of a prophetic year. That means we have 3.5 total prophetic years. Now remember when we studied the day for year principle in Daniel chapter 1? We said that anytime you see a day in Bible prophecy, you translate that into a literal year. Well, we've got 3.5 prophetic years, so how many prophetic days would that be? Well, let's first convert to days. So how many prophetic days are in a prophetic year? Well, using a lunar calendar of 30 days per month, 12 months, that means 1 prophetic year would have 360 prophetic days. as we keep going along, times 2, right? Prophetic years, that would be 360 times 2 would be 720, and a half of a prophetic year would be 180 days. If you add those up, 360, 720, 180, 1,260 days. So now we're talking about a time times and half a time. That's essentially 1,260 prophetic days. Meaning, day for year principle, we would have 1,260 literal years. That's how long the time period would be that this little horn would take God's saints captive. Okay, they would be given into his hand. Okay, here's 10 characteristics of the little horn on the screen. All the way down to number 10, saints given into his hand for a time, times and half a time, 1,260 literal years. Where? In the area of the successor states of the Roman Empire after 476. Okay, arises after the fourth kingdom and after the 10 horns. Just take a look at this. Take a look at this timeline horizontally on the screen. You've got Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, 476, okay, Western Roman Empire ends. Successor states of the Western Roman Empire emerge after 476, the German barbaric tribes, and that little horn has to come up, okay, after that time period, and it would take the saints captive for 1,260 years. Like what you see? Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, or you can go to angelsintheglen.org. That's angelsintheglen.org. We've got an entire series for you to take you through the events that must take place before Christ returns. God wants his people ready. It's not a time to fear, it's a time to be ready. I hope you'll join us.